Morning, guys. Now, I haven't spoken about the Pedro Neto signing yet, so we're going to talk about Pedro Neto in this video now. So, he signed for Chelsea for £54 million. Now, this is a signing. I don't know how Chelsea do it, but for some reason, other clubs seem to just pull off deals out of nowhere, and they get it done so quickly. But with Arsenal, the deals just drag and drag and drag. I don't know. It's just so annoying, but yeah, that's a great signing. You know, Pedro Neto was linked with a lot of clubs in the Premier League. Now, we have to be fair. Now, I've seen a lot of people try and tease Chelsea on this, saying, oh, you're getting an injury-prone player, you know, for £54 million. It's not going to work out. If Arsenal had signed Pedro Neto for £54 million, you best believe the Arsenal fans would not have been saying he's injury-prone. So, you know, let's put that one to bed. You know, I have to be fair. You know, as an Arsenal fan, I've got to be honest about it. You know, we would have been hypocrites. So it's a great signing for Chelsea. Let's be real about it. Yes, he's got his injury problems. Yes, he's had seasons where he's not been available all the time. But he's a top player, really, really top player. And Chelsea have got a gem, and it just intensifies why I think Chelsea are going to have a good season this year. Everything they've done in the transfer market has been really encouraging. I know it's not quite clicking with them in pre-season yet, but it's going to click. Trust me, because their options now are just really, really good going forward. They still probably need one more striker, but supposedly they don't bring in a striker. Let's just say they've got Nkunku up front. Now they've got Pedro Neto on the right, Palmer in the 10, and Mudryk or Jackson on the left. Let's just say it is Mudryk. That means Jackson, Madueke, and Sterling are the backups. It's not a bad team. That's not a bad team. Then you add another striker to that. That's 4. So they've got a really, really good front line now, Chelsea. And it's listen, it's gonna take a little bit longer to click, but when it does click, it's gonna be very, very effective. And I still stand by my prediction. I think Chelsea are getting in the top 4 this season. I don't quite think they'll get close to Liverpool, but I think they'll definitely get in the top 4. And then you look at the Dewsbury Hall, Casado in the midfield, Lavia still. We don't know what's going to happen with him. You know, he's been injured for a whole season. People have forgotten how good he is. But at Southampton, he's a top player. He was a top player there, and it's yeah, Chelsea doing all the right things. But what will Pedro Neto give Chelsea? He'll give versatility because he can play on the left, he can play on the right. So you could even change it up. You could play, if you wanted to get Madueke in, because he done really well, Madueke, in the second half of the season last year. So if you wanted to get Neto and him in, you could have Neto on the left and Madueke on the right, and then Cole Palmer in the 10. Or if you wanted Cole Palmer on the right, you could have Neto on the left, and then maybe someone else in the 10 that I haven't even mentioned. There's a lot of options. There's a lot of options for Chelsea now, and all they need to do is just get a rhythm going, and they'll be okay, because it's a very wise signing. £54 million for Neto, I think is brilliant, seriously, and it came out of nowhere. So for Chelsea, I think Chelsea are looking good going into the season. Their only problem is that they've got the Gallagher situation. I'm not sure what's going on there, because I know the other lad from Atletico, the deal fell through. So now I think they're looking for João Felix. Now, if they could get João Felix as well, I spoke about the 4th player in terms of strength and depth going forward. That would be remarkable, because then you could play João Felix in the 10. You could play him on the wing up front. There's so many options for Chelsea, but what they need to do is they need to make sure that they don't bring in too many players. But I think one more player like Felix, it wouldn't be too many, because yeah, I think it's, you know, you need a big squad. They're back in Europe now as well, so they're going to need those players for Europe. And again, don't sleep on Mudryk. Listen, Mudryk, I still think there's a player in Mudryk. I really do. I'd give him the left-hand side. Personally, if it was me, give him the left-hand side, put Palmer in the 10, Pedro Neto on the right, and then Nkunku or the potential new striker up front, Jackson off the bench. That's a very, very good front line. Very good. I don't care what people say. And that's enough to get you in the Champions League, for me anyway. But we just got to see. It's a great signing for Chelsea. Wolves have got some money as well, so they can, you know, reinvest in their team. To think about it, Wolves have got 100 million, nearly 100 million for Kilman and Neto. That's pretty good business on their part, but they need to make sure, because they're two players who are key in the Wolves team. They need to make sure they reinvest in that in the next couple of weeks and really look to spend that money wisely. Because if they do, then they can probably bring in another 3 or 4 players with that 100 million. But if they're going for quality, not quantity, which they probably should be actually, maybe 2 or 3 players. But no, it's good for both parties. And yeah, Pedro Neto is a Chelsea player. Great signing.